To gain a proper understanding of the biblical offerings, you must first gain an understanding of the purpose of the tabernacle and temple. There are three purposes. The first purpose for the tabernacle is that of a judicial system. The tabernacle was designed to enforce the law of God. The high priest's servant was the instrument used to enforce this law. He would be like our modern-day police. When a person is accused of a sin, they would appear before the judge. While awaiting the trial, the accused would wait in the tabernacle ward. This trial would always have at least 2 witnesses, and would always be before the congregation as a jury. The second purpose for the tabernacle is that of a hospital. The sick were brought to the tabernacle to be seen by the priest. If the priest declared them sick, they would be quarantined for the protection of others. The sick were to seek natural remedies such as healing herbs and healing oils. They would return to the priest after 7 days and could then be pronounced clean. The third purpose for the tabernacle is that of a butcher. This might seem odd, but consider the following. Hebrews were forbidden to kill of their animals unless done through the tabernacle. If a Hebrew wanted to eat meat from their animals, they were required to bring that animal to the tabernacle for the priest to kill. A portion of this would go to the Lord and to the Levites. This ensured the proper killing of an animal for food. The peace offering was a voluntary offering, and the offerer received the edible portion of the animal to eat. The last verse in the chapter regarding this offering says, "It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations, throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood." This was an offering that ensured the proper killing of an animal for food. The blood was drained and the fat removed. There were 5 offerings mentioned in the book of Leviticus. These offerings are the burnt offering, the meat offering, the peace offering, the sin offering, and the trespass offering. The first 3 are voluntary offerings, and the last 2 are compulsory offerings. The burnt offering was the most common of all the offerings listed in the Scriptures. It was always offered on the brazen altar. Nationally, it was offered every day, morning and evening. Extra offerings were also offered each Sabbath day, each new month, and each feast day. Individually, this offering was offered voluntarily whenever the offerer chose so. If an individual chose to offer the burnt offering, the wealthy would offer a bull. This bull must be male and without blemish. The middle class would offer a goat or a sheep. This also must be male and without blemish. The poor could offer either 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons. No gender is specified. The offerer will place his hands on the head of his offering. He will kill the animal before the Lord. The priest will sprinkle the blood around the brazen altar. Then he will cut the animal in pieces and burn it on the altar. The whole animal is consumed except the skin, which goes to the priest as a payment. The purpose of this offering was to renew sinful man back to relationship with God. Nationally, it was offered often to show continued allegiance to God. Individually, it was used to renew the individual sinner back to God. It was required for certain cleansings, such as for a woman after childbirth, for lepers to be cleansed, and for the cleansing of open wounds. The meat offering was an offering offered on a voluntary basis. It was always offered on the brazen altar. When offered uncooked, it must be of fine flour, and you must pour oil and frankincense on the flour. If the offering is baked in an oven, it must be unleavened. The flour must be mixed with oil before baked, and then cut into pieces after baked. If the offering is baked in a frying pan, it must be of fine flour mixed with oil. The priest shall take a handful of the fine flour mixed with oil and frankincense, and burn it on the altar. If baked or fried, the priest shall burn the bread on the altar. If the offering is from the first fruits of the crops, it shall not be burnt on the altar. Every meat offering shall be seasoned with salt. The purpose of the meat offering is for the individual to share of their bountiful harvest with the Lord. This offering is also shared with the Levites. As a nation, this was done as a first fruit offering at the harvest of each crop. They could not eat of their crops until this first fruit offering was made. The peace offering was an offering offered on a voluntary basis. It was always offered on the brazen altar. If the offering was of the cattle, it could be either male or female, but had to be without blemish. If the offering was of the sheep, it could be either male or female, but had to be without blemish. If the offering was of the goats, it could be either male or female, but had to be without blemish. The offerer will place his hands on the head of his offering. He will kill the animal at the door of the tabernacle. The priest will sprinkle the blood around the altar. The priest will burn on the altar all the fat, the kidneys, the rump, and the liver. The right shoulder goes to the priest as a payment for his work, and the rest of the meat is for the offerer. The purpose for the peace offering is for the individual to share of their meat with the Lord. The meat is also shared with the Levites as a payment. If the peace offering is for thanksgiving, he shall also offer a heave offering of bread for the Levites. The peace offering makes the tabernacle like our modern butchers. The end of this chapter gives us the reason for this offering. It was to keep the nation from eating fat or blood. The sin offering is the first of two compulsory offerings. It was always offered on both the brazen altar and the altar of incense. The priests and the whole congregation were to offer a bull. Rulers and commoners were to offer a kid of the goats or sheep. The sacrifice shall be without blemish. The offerer shall put his hands on the head of his offering and kill it before the Lord. The priest will sprinkle the blood 7 times before the veil. Then the priest will sprinkle the blood on the horns of the altar of incense. The priest will then burn all the fat, the kidneys, and the liver on the brazen altar, and the rest is burned outside the camp. The priest will eat of the meat offered as a payment for his services. This offering was only done when the sinner was found to be guilty. This was always determined at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, and always before the congregation as a jury. This is how the tabernacle was like our modern-day judicial system. If someone were caught in a crime or sin, a trial would determine their guilt. If found guilty, a fine, or a sacrifice, was sentenced, and the guilty party would have to pay, or offer. The trespass offering is the second of 2 compulsory offerings. It was always offered on the brazen altar. This offering must be a ram. It must be male and without blemish. The offerer shall lay his hands on the ram and kill it before the Lord. The priest will sprinkle the blood around the altar and burn all the fat, the kidneys, and the liver. The priest will eat of the offering as a payment for his services. This offering was only done when the sinner was found to be guilty. This was always determined at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, and always before the congregation as a jury. This is how the tabernacle was like our modern-day judicial system. If someone were caught in a crime or sin, a trial would determine their guilt. If found guilty, a fine, or a sacrifice, was sentenced, and the guilty party would have to pay, or offer. The trespass offering was for sins that caused a damage to another party. Punitive measures are awarded based on each circumstance. For felony theft, it was 5 times the amount. For misdemeanor theft, it was 4 times the amount. If the property was returned, it is double the amount paid in punitive measures. Here are the 5 offerings. The burnt offering was to deal with general sin. The meat offering was to be able to eat of our crops. The peace offering was to be able to eat of our animals. The sin offering was to deal with specific sin, and the trespass offering was to deal with specific sin that caused a damage. The burnt offering, sin offering, and trespass offering were for the atonement of sin. The meat offering and peace offering were not for atonement of sin, but rather for the offerer to be able to eat of their crops and animals. The question might be asked, what about today? Should we still practice this same system today? The scripture requires that we use a just weight and a just measure. Our courts should require a sacrifice of real property, like goats, sheep, corn, beans, honey, gold, or silver coin, and not a fine in paper money. The Greek word for witchcraft is pharmacy. Our hospitals should be in our courts and require healing herbs and healing oils, and not drugs. Our animals and crops should be sent to our courts. Our farming should be small and local, so that proper care for our food is of top priority. This will ensure health and prosperity for any nation that does so. After all, God's blessing for obeying Him include national prosperity, but His curses for not obeying Him produce the opposite.